Hi everybody, welcome back to I'm Not Sick But I Wish I Was, where I've had a nasal drip for the past 2 months and it's not going away, and I don't feel like garbage, but man, does my throat feel it? God. Um I've not uploaded for the past while, and I keep promising I will, and I don't. There's been a lot going on lately, and compared to the other reasons like just housing situations, neighbors being bad and stuff, to put it lightly. I'm sick is not exactly, by comparison, the best excuse to not upload. So here I am. This is Kikuo with Miku 5, and let me tell you why this is a fantastic album. Now, Kikuo is another legendary name in the Vocaloid scene, and for good reason too. And it's strange because the reason why I started this channel in the first place is because I want to shine a light on some music, whether it be certain artists or subgenres or genres or what have you, that just aren't really well known or have some kind of stigmas against them or some whatever may have you. And it's strange because even in the vocal aid scene, Kikuo isn't exactly um, looked at how he should be, and that's not to say it's anything bad. It's just it's kind of like with the closest example I can give you is for a band like Queen, which everyone knows. But the songs that everyone knows for Queen that they all praise are usually all the commercial stuff, and no one ever talks about Queen 1, Queen 2, their first albums or so, which are far different and far better, etc., etc., etc. And it's kind of a similar thing where Kikuo does have hits and does have a big presence in the scene with songs like Love Me, Love Me, Love Me, and I think it's called Breaking Things Into Pieces. I want to say Break Stuff, that's not the right band. And those songs do have elements of him in it, but sorry, sorry. Um, they do have some elephants. Jesus, they do have some elements of him in those songs, but there are definitely far better songs and far better compositions he's done that are on his albums. It's like any band who can release good singles and leave all the grander, more artistic, more experimental stuff on the albums themselves, so the singles kind of hook you in. And I feel like it's a very similar thing. Now, Kikuo is specifically electronic music, I guess. Electronic, experimental, avant-garde, I guess. I don't even say avant-garde, really, just more experimental. And he specifically is a DJ. And I feel like on this I make kind of both sides, where the first half of the album is a lot more songs for the sake of songwriting, full verse, chorus, all that kind of stuff. And the last half is more just, DJ oriented, almost I treat it like ambient music, where it's like there's no verse or chorus exactly. It's more just the vibe, the sound, like club music more so. And bo- both ends of the album, for no reasons, are really really good. And the first song we have is "Dive into the Bottom of a Dream," where usually on his albums he has a little like 20-second maybe little, not necessarily skit, not necessarily an intro, but a little tiny song, like one verse, one chorus, maybe that's it. Just kind of like drop into the album. And this is the first album where he's had like a full like 3 minute or so song, and we get some nice accordions, we get some nice percussion. The whole album kind of has a very circus vibe, almost, especially in the first half. And the artist who does the artwork, Siku, SI_KU, is one of my favorite visual artists, probably at all. And I feel like her artwork encapsulates his music very perfectly. They kind of it's the same. It is the same atmosphere, the same everything, the same texture, all that, just in visual and audio form. They're both very intricate, both very whimsical, both very surreal, detailed, all that kind of stuff, And we definitely get all those things on this album for sure. Track number two, which would be Emptiness, Emptiness, Emptiness of Emptiness, is where we first start to get a little more experimental, just a little, where you have a lot of songs using MIDI sound effects or just weird percussions or almost like the kind of percussion sound effects you'd see in like older cartoons when the characters start running or when they fall, very zany sounds. And there's a whole section where it's almost being used like a solo, which is like a collage of like bum bum beep bum 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 all over the place, and it's pretty weird, it's pretty crazy stuff. But besides that, for an 8 minute song, it really does not feel like 8 minutes, at least to me. The song slowly gets faster and faster and faster, more rambunctious, more chaotic. When the first chorus drops in, it definitely drops in again with a bit of a circusy feel. But definitely a nice cut. I don't want to say funky, but it definitely has a very engaging rhythm to it. The next song, track number 3, Pino, Polaris, the Monster. Again, 9 minute song, and a lot of the first half is longer songs, and let me tell you, they do not feel as long as they are. In Pino, Polaris, the Monster, I feel like when usually I want to get people into Vocaloid, I usually want to give them like a top whatever songs across a bunch of different genres, and Pino, Polaris, the Monster is definitely one I bring up a frequent amount because damn, is it a good song. And it starts off big orchestral stuff, very big. And what Kikuo tends to do on this song is he uses EDM and electronic style effects, like flanger and just other weird things on top. Well, not on top. He uses them on organic instruments, like flutes or horn sections or whatever have you, and it works perfectly. It's amazing, and it's such a unique thing. It's such a unique tool he has used, I guess you can call it. And the whole song, I've been told it's about bullying. I don't know, but I bring this up to say like most of his music, pretty much all of his music, usually sounds very happy-go-lucky, or at least not all the time, but it tends to. But usually, no matter what, the lyrics are very dark and very intricate and very coded. It's very hard to decipher what exactly he's not always trying to get across, but it's just so. It's kind of like Tool's writing on steroids. Like, it gets to a point where for most songs, you couldn't even begin to start on what it could possibly be about. And even when you're told, it wouldn't really probably make sense. But there definitely are meanings to all these songs. The next song, Jesus, eyesight. I can't pronounce it. It's one of the ones that aren't in English. 1, 2, track 4. This is where the album starts to lead into the more atmospheric, more club, I guess, friendly cuts, and very nice effects in the vocals. Just very nice. Everything as usual. A lot shorter of a song, about 5 minutes, and I feel like that's good because I don't feel like, as good as the song is, I don't feel like they could extend that to a whole 10 minutes of the other ones, and made me feel like it wasn't dragged on. I feel like 5 minutes is a good place for this one to end. It's good, but it's just long enough, at least for me. Track number 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't count. Track number 5. Oishii, Tamashii, or whatever. Again, we get some really cool effects, really cool synth stuff, really intricate stuff, and again, the album is kind of leading more and more into DJ cuts. And honestly, when it comes to the first half of the album, I've listened to those songs a lot, and I don't know if it's because the last half of the album I listened to all the songs once, I don't know if it's because I stopped listening to the album to vomit for 5 hours, but I don't really remember any of the stuff on here. Usually I try to listen to the album right before I do a video for the exact reason of making sure it's all fresh in my mind, and that did not work this time. But either way, in the middle of the album, I'll just um, try and shorten it here. Middle of the album, you know, all the songs, all the way from this one to the next one. Not gonna pronounce that one. To First Cry, to another one I can't really pronounce. To See Is, to Is This I don't know. It's right here. The last all before the last track. The whole middle of the album tends to be a lot more, like I said, collaborating a lot more focused on the atmosphere than verses and choruses and stuff. And some of them sound more magical, some of them sound more eerie, some of them sound more just soothing, kind of a mix, right? And then once you get to the last song, which is called "Is it a six hexagon skew polyhedron?" It basically tries to go back to the format of, song, verse, chorus, all that kind of stuff. And the last song does not really work. I'm not exactly a fan. I think the album could have done without it, because the rest of the album is really good. And again, maybe it's because I don't know the last half enough off by heart. But when it comes to ambient music, club music, electronic music, or whatever, so any music where you kind of go to that music for, the atmosphere, the general character of the sound, all that kind of stuff, even certain bands like Radiohead, or even certain other genres of things, like I say, you go to them because it has a very specific sound, a specific character, a specific atmosphere. And maybe it's because I haven't listened to the last half enough, but I remember when I was listening to it, I was thinking, wow, these are really cool, unique atmospheres that I definitely want to listen to again. And now I can't remember what they were exactly. I can't remember any specific sounds. I'm gonna sneeze. Where's the pause button? There's no pause button. Alright, shit. There was a pause button before. Before there was a pause recording button. I guess now there isn't. Anyways, whatever. I apologize. Point is, I'll go chalk it up to I don't remember at all, but I will say both halves of the album are good. I probably give this. They're very good for different reasons, but they are good. Minus the last track, everything else is pretty good, pretty flawless. I would give this album probably an 8 out of 10, and I'm gonna cut it here for just lack of saving time and other things. So yeah.